Pricing for profit and perceived value. If you understand pricing properly, you can take any product and sell it for twice, 3 times, even 10 times the price. In fact, you should sell your product for a ridiculously higher price. This lesson explains why. Since childhood, your parents, friends, spouse, ads, shop signs, etc. all have trained you to seek lower prices, which was fine because you were always in buying mode. But now that you will be selling your offer, you need to rethink pricing. Your current psychology is this: lower price, good; higher price, bad. But this is what you need to understand about price. Price signals value, or more accurately, price signals perceived value. Think of all the luxury goods that are sold today. Objectively, the value they provide is much lower than what they are priced at. But because the perceived value in the customer's mind is much more higher, they can charge much higher prices. You see, all businesses play one of two games. Majority of businesses plays the pricing game. The pricing game is where the value of the product remains the same. If you price too high compared to the value, people don't buy. If you reduce your price, but in the customer's mind, the price is still higher than the value, they will not buy. A certain threshold is crossed, after which, if you lower prices, customers begin to buy. Now, in order to compete with each other in the market, people continue to reduce their prices, which in the short term increases the delta between value and price, and hence more people buy. But eventually, businesses reach a point where nobody is making money because these businesses are selling a commodity. And in their mind, the only way to win is to reduce their prices. You should instead play the value game. If the value you provide is lower than the price, people don't buy. But you can continue to increase the value of your offer until a point reaches where people are willing to buy your offer because the value you're delivering is higher than the price you're charging. And the good thing is, there is no limit to how much value you provide. You can keep increasing the value of your offer, and more people will want to buy from you. Hence, focus on increasing value only and not on reducing your price. Because in the pricing game, you can only go down to zero. But in the value game, you can go up to infinity. Imagine if you're delivering something that's worth $1,000. If you charge the customer $500, they'll happily pay it. But imagine if you increase the value of your offer to $10,000, then a customer would still happily pay you $5,000. If you continue to increase the value of your offer, you can continue to increase the price of your offer. What you need to make sure is your customer should feel that they are getting a tremendous amount of value at a tremendous amount of discount. Or in other words, your goal is to increase the delta or the difference between perceived value that they're getting and the price that you're charging. Now, this is the mistake all new players make when they come into the market. They look at all the offers in the market, they see all the prices that they're being offered at. They take an average of all those prices, they price slightly lower to be competitive, and they provide slightly more to be extra, and they end up at the better value for money position. And you might make money for a little while until someone else comes and they price slightly lower than you and provide slightly extra than you. Then you're out of business. Let's look at pricing with an example. Suppose you are selling a weight loss program. The price you sell your program at affects your customers and affects your business at the same time. Suppose you are selling a fitness program for $10. Because it's just a $10 PDF weight loss program, people might buy it, but the emotional investment from them is much lower. And because they're not emotionally invested in your program, the perceived value of your program in the customer's eyes is also lower. And because it's not important to them, they will probably not implement what's in the guide, and thus they will not get the results that they were promised. And because of that, they are less content with your program. They ask for refunds, they leave bad reviews, they tell others that your program is no good. And at $10, you're not really able to do much for each customer because the revenue per customer is so much lower. Now let's take another example where you are selling the same weight loss program for $10,000. Now the people who buy a $10,000 weight loss program, they are highly invested in losing weight. And because they've paid $10,000, their perceived value of your coaching program is much higher. And because they are emotionally invested and have higher value of your program, they implement the program and get the results that you promised. And because they get the results that they were promised, they are more content with your program. They tell others how good your program is. They don't ask for refunds. They are happy customers. Because at a higher price point, you're able to give more attention to each customer. Instead of 1,000 people who come in and buy from you, you get just 10 people come in and pay you $10,000. You know each of those 10 customers by name, what stage in the program they are at. You focus on each one of those clients' successes, and thus you deliver a much higher service. On the flip side, let's look at how it affects your business. At $10 PDF version of your business, the profit you make is much lower. And because you're just selling a PDF on weight loss on the internet, your perceived value of yourself is much lower because you're just selling PDFs on the internet. And because it's just a PDF on the internet, people are not getting the results because they don't implement it. And you can't help them either because the service level you can deliver at $10 is much lower, probably none at that price point. And at that price, you're not having a sales team. You're probably yourself doing the sales. And you have no conviction in your product because you know it's not delivering the results. On the flip side, if you were selling a $10,000 program, the profit your business makes is much more higher. The perceived value of yourself is much higher because you're charging $10,000 for a custom coaching program that helps people definitely get the results that you're looking for. And because you're charging so high, you're able to focus on each customer and provide a much higher service, really customized and ensuring each client's success. And with such great results, you will be able to hire a sales team that has a much higher conviction level in what you're selling. You see, charging lower price is neither good for your customer, neither good for your business. But charging a higher price point is great for your customers and it's great for your business. Thus, it is more ethical for you to charge higher so that your customers are more invested and they get better results, whilst your business is more invested and you deliver a better product. Remember, a higher price is a firewall to let in only the committed clients, which results in more success stories and thus a higher perceived quality of your product. Let me drive the point home with a different example. There was a study done in Stanford where they served a group of people 3 different price point wine bottles: a $5 wine, a $45 wine, and a $90 wine. All 3 wine bottles with the price tags were placed on their table, and they were asked to give a review on each of the wine bottle. As expected, people who drank the $5 wine commented that it was nothing special, tasted a bit weird, but then again, nothing special about it. The $45 wine was something interesting. They enjoyed it with their food, and they were quite happy with it. The $90 wine, they commented, tasted much superior. They commented that each sip was much more tasteful and gave a much more premium taste in their mouth when they drank it, and said that the difference between the $5 wine and the $90 wine was clear as day and night. Well, they were then told that all 3 bottles contained the $5 wine. Think about that for a second. Even though the product was exactly the same, the higher price point increased not only the value of the wine that they were having, but it also increased their experience of it. Whereas a lower price point not only decreased the value of the wine, but also their experience with it. What you need to understand is that price is a component of value. Be so expensive that a consumer must pause and think, this cannot be the same category of solution as everyone else, thereby making you a category of one. So when you are about to price your product, have the price so ridiculously high that the price alone sets you apart from the entire market and competition. They just inherently know that there's something different about you. And as you have seen in the wine bottle experience, your customers will convince themselves how your product is superior than everyone else.